Tomorrow, Capcom's latest big-time release comes in the form of DLC for Resident Evil 4 Remake. A huge release earlier this year, and as of right now, possibly the greatest remake ever made. Ada Wong finally has her Separate Ways campaign, and details surrounding it are coming up slowly. We do know that it's going to cost $10 and extends the previous portions a bit longer, while adding in more context for things happening in Leon's campaign. But there is something about it that, when I heard it, I could not help but wonder what Resident Evil 3 fans would feel about it. It's a good thing, but you can't help but feel a bit confused, especially after you hear how long Separate Ways' campaign is. Some would say maybe it's Capcom's way of apologizing. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out, as more Resident Evil videos are on the way. Also, so you can help raise that 11% even higher. Now with that being said, let's get into the video. When Resident Evil 3 Remake released, it was a little over a year from when Resident Evil 2 Remake released. Fans were excited to see back-to-back beloved games get remakes within 14 months of each other. This was mainly due to Capcom splitting the work between their own in-house studio, and M2 worked on Resident Evil 3 Remake, contracted by Capcom. Long story short, when Resident Evil 3 Remake released, many fans, especially die-hard Resident Evil 3 fans, were beyond disappointed and felt betrayed at the fact that the campaign was severely cut and the total game playtime was 6 hours, even less for some people, which at the time was absolutely unacceptable, especially for a full-price $60 game. I had only recently played Resident Evil 3 Remake myself earlier this year, and it was directly after I finished Resident Evil 2 Remake, which these days is probably the best way to experience it. And Resident Evil 3 Remake was only about $10 on Steam back in March due to some promo they had because Resident Evil 4 Remake was coming out very soon. For its price, that was an amazing experience. But the release price, I agree, was absolutely wild for what they offered. Our brothers and sisters who spent $60, I feel for you. We feel for you here in the comments. Fast forward to now with Resident Evil 4 Remake, the beloved juggernaut of the Resident Evil franchise sees its campaign hitting 15 hours total, with some people reaching 20 hours on their first playthrough. That was me actually, I took about 25 hours to finish it. Compared to 6 hours of Resident Evil 3 Remake, which I finished in one stream. Literally one sitting, you can actually go watch that stream right now. Resident Evil 4 Remake was amazing and had a great amount of replayability packed into it. However, some things were noticeably cut. The laser segment for one thing from the original game, the U3 boss fights, and even a fan favorite weapon, the PRL, for some reason. Well, Dust Golem, a very popular Resident Evil community member who has been very accurate with their information relating to the releases of these games, alongside data miners, they went ahead and confirmed that Resident Evil 4 Remake will have Ada Wong's campaign Separate Ways coming to us in the future. We just had no idea when until now that it's coming September 21st for $10. Dust Golem also recently revealed some new information about Separate Ways, which honestly doesn't really surprise me considering the amount of content that the trailers have in it. But a first-time playthrough of Separate Ways, the Ada Wong DLC, is looking to take about 5 to 7 hours for first-timers and could be even longer depending on how thorough you are with everything. Again, he's talking about me. I'm going to be taking 10 hours with this. Which again is believable when you look at the trailer and see how much stuff they have packed inside of it. Extended levels and sections with Ada teaming up with Luis, possible Ashley portions maybe, new cutscenes at least, being newly included, the U3 boss fight, the lasers level, plus a much longer daytime level portion. I think Capcom is actually doing quite a lot with this. However, many fans won't be happy until various things like the PRL is detailed. No idea if playing Separate Ways will unlock it for both campaigns, but fingers crossed that is the case, and that would be a major dub on Capcom's part. However, looking through the achievements that have come up recently, I don't see anything mentioning the PRL or unlocking it, but spoiler alert warning for those who do not want to be spoiled about anything containing inside of this. The second image confirms that the long-wanted boss is in fact in the DLC, referring to U3 as it, and the image confirms as much. But Separate Ways is looking to be quite an experience, and a high quality one at that, only costing $10. Resident Evil 3 Remake I still hope someday gets some love, at least a DLC with half the amount of care Separate Ways had packed into it. That more than likely would be received well by fans, but of course, not possible as it seems that Capcom has seemingly moved on from Resident Evil 3 Remake, and are trying to distance themselves further from the major L they took on RE3. Well, at least it goes to show that they have full-on learned from their mistakes and are striving to release great content and projects for all of us to enjoy, because instead of immediately releasing Resident Evil 4 Remake after RE3 Remake came out in like 2020 to 2021. They took their time, went ham on development, and delivered a really fantastic product with Resident Evil 4 Remake. Separate Ways releases tomorrow, September 21st, and I'll be playing it live here on the channel. So, stay tuned and let's play it alongside each other. You guys can speedrun, and I'm aim for the slowest playthrough imaginable. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More Resident Evil videos are on the way, and you do not want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.